So again, I'm going to share Fateh. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you to everybody for being here, all the little ones. I know it's a Sunday and you guys are all here. I want to start off by saying this is so important. We're all here in a Gurdwara. This is one of our institutions, our community centers, and we're here talking about bullying. We're not doing Path, we're not really learning Punjabi. We're here talking about bullying. And that's why institutions like these that are Guru given, our Guru gave these Gurdwara, these places that are so huge, big, that our money has been put into to talk about these things, and we need to use them. These places, this Gurdwara is for our children. These are for you guys. This is where you guys get to come together, learn about things, talk about bullying right here, talk about what you want to do in your life, your career, anything like that. So I want to say a huge shout out to everybody who organizes. Thank you so much to the organizers for doing this, because time and time again we need to use these spaces not only to do Sikh things, but to talk about things that matter in our Sikh community. So I'm going to talk about bullying, and I'm going to talk about it in the perspective of you guys, so the little kids. I'm going to talk about it with you guys, and I'm going to talk about it for the adults, for the mom. I think that bullying is different for everybody. We all grow up differently. You guys all have gone through it somehow. And I want to talk about it separately, because that way you guys get to hear what I'm going to talk about to your mom and dad, and say, how they should be helping you guys, and how you guys should be helping your mom and dad, and what the conversation that you guys should be having with your mom and dad. So I'm going to start about it with bullying for adults. So थोड़ी बहुत ही पंजाबी भी बोलूँगी, इन्नी बढ़िया नहीं हैगी, पर माफ़ करियो. So ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ bullying ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, bullying ਇੱਕ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ. ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਇੱਕ young woman ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਦਸਤਾਰ ਹੁਣ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ, like junior kindergarten, one of the stars since I was in junior kindergarten. So I have this visual identity. So I don't know, I don't look like a Gora, I don't look like everybody else there. I'm in the workforce, I work in the public sector, I'm doing university at the University of Ottawa, like they mentioned. So I'm out here, I'm doing things, I'm out here speaking in front of you guys. And so obviously people assume that, I've probably gone through some hardships. And hanji true हैगा भी सारा नू एक form दी bullying हुंदी हैगी आ. But I think that I never really thought about it as too much, because I had these conversations when I was a kid. I heard people say that I was great. I was great, that what you are, you as a person, you're the best person in the room. I was always told, when I'm here right now, I think I'm the best person in this room. And that's not anything other than think that I've worked really hard. I think that I have good values. I think that I can handle anything that you guys can throw at me. And that's important for me. So there's the number one thing that I want to talk about with bullying for mom bop is ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ. Legality, legal terms. ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ bullying ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਸਾਰੇ ਮਾਂ ਬਾਪ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ legally bullying can be prosecuted. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ legally trouble ਆ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. So especially ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ and they're being bullies, or if your child ਨੂੰ bullying ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ legal action ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, or ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ they can get legally prosecuted. And that's important, because ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਨਿਆਣਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਨੂੰ bullying ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, and there's different forms of bullying, they can get in trouble. So kids, bullying, you can get into legal trouble. The police can come prosecute you, and they can say that what you're doing is wrong. And that's something that everyone needs to know. Bullying is it's not something that should be ignored, of course, but it can become a legal problem. And you all need to understand that, because that kind of makes it important, right? That's like, if you can get in trouble by the police, that means it's something big. So you have to all remember that at all times. So I think all mom bop should always stress that to their kids. If you're having problems, let's go to the school and let's try to do something about it. And number two, if you're bullying, don't be bullying, because you know why? The police can come do something about it. I think that scares kids, and I think that's always important. Number two, I could be bullying the different forms ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ. ਮੈਂ ਦੋ different, I guess, forms of bullying ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੂੰਗੀ. Like emotional bullying ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, like sexual bullying. I think these are the two types of bullying that we don't really talk about a lot. We know ਜਿੱਦਾਂ Uncle Ji said before me that when they were kids, they got bullied. And one of the bullying problems is they got punched in the face, mukka mariya. And that happens now. You know, some of these kids probably have got punched in the face. But that's not the only type of bullying out there. So emotional bullying is type of bullying that माँ-बाप need to have this conversation and ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ friend group ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰੋਜ਼ ਵਿਚਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ force ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਗਲਤ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਔਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਔਰ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਪਾਏ ਹੈਗੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਹੈਗਾ whatever ਕੋਈ ਵਧੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ that's form emotional bullying because ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਕੁਝ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਪਾਉਣੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ emotional bullying and ਤੁਸੀਂ emotional bullying ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ protect ਕਰੋਗੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੰਭਾਲੋਗੇ you do that ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ prepare ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ so a lot of the times ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ conferences ਕਰਦੇ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ seminar ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਲਿਆਉਣੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਨਿਆਣਾ 6 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ bully ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ 10 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ I mean ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ help ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਪਰ what if ਉਹਨੂੰ 6 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦੱਸਣੀਆਂ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ so I think conversation is what's important ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਿਠਾਓ emotionally ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਜੇ ਕੁਛ ਕੋਈ ਲੋਕੀ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਂ-ਬਾਪ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ that's not okay and ਉਹ ਘਰੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ talk about with anybody else to always recognize that it's wrong and there's sexual bullying sexual bullying sometimes we think it's for older kids and it's true it's about forcing kids into doing something that they don't want to do making them feel like their bodies or their feelings are not appropriate for what age they are now we see a lot of kids going through these issues because they're forced to think that at age 16 they should be having feelings or dating or all those kind of things and some kids are like I don't want to do this some kids are like I do want to do this it's having these conversations beforehand that you being pressured to do any of those kind of things is bullying and the number one conversation that us Punjabi Sikh people don't have in our homes yes we gal ek nahi ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ bullying ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ especially sexual bullying sexual harassment molestation ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਪਰ ਨਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਵੀ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ inappropriately ਟੱਚ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਨੇ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆ ਕੇ ਦੱਸੋ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਦੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੇ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਹਮਣਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਇਸ਼ੂਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੈਰਾਨ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹ ਇਕੱਲੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ I think I urge all parents ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ especially if they're young to have that conversation and then the other thing I want to talk about with bullying for parents I see a lot of mothers here मैं बहुत सारी ऐसी और ऐसी मामा like I think majority of the adults here are moms and moms have this role with children ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਮਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ right ਮਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ child ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੋਲ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਿਆਣਾ ਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲਵ ਕਰਦਾ ਮਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਲਵ ਕਰਦੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਲੱਭ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ it's like this there's no going around but time and time again ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ exactly ਪਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ 18 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਹਵਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਦੱਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕਿੰਨਾ drug abuse ਹੁੰਦਾ or gang violence or prostitution a lot of the time ਮਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ a lot of the time ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਿਓ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ uncles ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ radio ਸੁਣਦੇ ਆ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ and they know about these things but they don't talk about it with the moms so but ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਾਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਉਠਾਉਣਾ ਨਲਾਉਣਾ all those kind of things ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ life change ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ sometimes a father can't do that he doesn't have the time or he's working whatever he's doing so I want to say very clearly that it's very important that all the men in your life should be talking about whatever you're learning with the moms it's important that the mom knows everything about what can happen with the kid and isn't surprised when they see their 16-year-old kid on drugs and they're like I didn't know this could ever happen where did they buy this drug and the dad's like oh I mean I know because in Punjab ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ drug like I saw ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫੀਮ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਸੀ this or whatever you saw it ਮਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਸੀ But right now, in this society, you are dealing with it. Your kids are dealing with issues that you never thought possible. So the moms need to understand. Get this conversation to the mother so she knows she can protect her child from all that. Now I'm going to switch over to bullying for kids, and I'm going to talk directly to the kids. And they asked me to come up here and talk to you guys about bullying, and they thought that, I probably was bullied as a kid. And sure, it's not like I wasn't bullied. I probably got 1 or 2 comments. But I grew up in Brampton. You guys are probably growing up in Brampton. I saw half my class was Punjabi. You guys probably see half your class is Punjabi, right? Maybe not, maybe so, whatever it is. But you don't always see Gore all the time. If you go to a small town, there's always Gore everywhere. We don't always see Gore all the time. We sort of feel like we fit in. So sometimes we think bullying is okay, we're not going to really get targeted, but you are. You're always going to get targeted for who you are. But that's not only because you have a visible identity. That's not only because you wear a patka or you have long hair. That's not the only reason you can get bullied. Why are you getting bullied? Because you're being targeted for being somebody that doesn't know who they are. So when I say, what did I do to protect myself from bullying? There's only one thing that I say. I say that I knew who I was. And you've heard that before, right? Your mom tells you, know who you are, you know your values, this is what I taught you, whatever. You've heard that before. But really knowing who you are. It means that, you're like 6 years old, you're 10 years old, you're 15 years old. Does that mean that you shouldn't be thinking? How many of you guys sit, I'm not asking as a question, it's a rhetorical question, but how many of you guys sit at home and think for 20 minutes about your day, what happened with your life, why your mom yelled at you, or why you got a bad grade on your test? How many of you guys sit down and think, why did this happen to me? If you're not thinking, you're just playing, or you're just thinking that's not important, why should I be thinking about anything in my life? Then you're not understanding who you are. Because you don't know why you got a bad test, you don't know why your mom yelled. You don't care, you're like, let's go on to the next day. But knowing who you are is the only thing that's going to save you. The only thing that's going to make you a better person, is going to elevate you, get you a good job. Because in an interview, when they ask you, who are you, what are your weaknesses, whatever, you don't have to think about that. You know who you are. And I think that's really important when it comes to bullying. If you know that you're a strong person, that you're a great person, you're a person that deserves to be loved, you're a person that doesn't deserve to be bullied, then how are you going to let bullying happen for so long? You're not going to let it happen. Because you're going to go to your mom and you're going to say, hey, that's not cool, somebody's doing this to me. Or you're going to go to your teacher or whoever, and you go to a friend and you're going to say, that's not cool. And you're going to feel good about it. One time, I'll tell you this story about, I didn't think it was bullying, but I was in grade 8, and one of the kids in my class, he was a boy, and he said something about my dasta and how, like, it was ugly, or he said it, I think what the word was, he said it looked like a bumblebee house, a bumblebee house. Or I don't know what the scientific term for it is, but as in like it looked like a beehive, right? That's what the kid told me. And I was like, okay, whatever, like I don't care what you said. It doesn't matter to me. I think I look great. My family looks great. I don't care. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. But my teacher was like, oh, I think I heard you say something. I was like, I heard the kid say something. And I was like, yeah, he said something, but I don't really care. I told him, like, whatever, screw you, back off, like, whatever I said to him. I was like, I dealt with it, I'm fine, it's cool, he's scared of me, it doesn't matter to me. The teacher's like, no, that's not cool, let's talk about it. So what she did was, she took that kid, she took him aside, she didn't tell me, and she said, that's not cool what you said. Anoop doesn't care what you said to her, but that's not cool, and now you have to do a presentation. So that kid, I didn't know about this, he had to stay every single day for 1 whole month after class, and he'd sit there and come with a presentation of why bullying is bad. And after that month, he came up to me, to the class, in front of my entire class, he had to present why bullying is bad. And at the end, he had to go, Anoop, I apologize for saying something to me. He had to apologize, and I didn't even have to ask him. Everyone in that room didn't think I was a snitch, didn't think anything about me. They just thought like, oh cool, you just got some guy to stay after class every single day and apologize to you. So it's not bad letting people know. It's not bad saying, you're a loser for bullying me, or you're a loser for making these comments. It doesn't matter. I'm better than that. So that's one of the stories I think that I heard these things, you know, you heard comments, you see, I mean, I'm in school or whatever, you see people look at you, it doesn't matter to you anymore because I knew who I was. So I'm going to share a story, a Sikh story. So Bandi Shore Divas just passed by. We all know that. We probably went to the Gurdwara, you probably did fireworks. And maybe some of you guys heard the story of Shri Guru Turbaned Sikh and how he was imprisoned by Jahangir with 52 other Pahari Raja, right? We probably heard that story. Well, you have to understand, Guru Sahib, he's our sixth Guru. If you ever read any accounts of him, everyone says he was this really like tall, 6'5" guy. His neck was like this big, it was like this big. Imagine a guy that was so like, he was like, you'd notice him here. That was our Guru, that was our sixth Guru by accounts in, you know, Janmsaki. This was our Guru. And he gets imprisoned by Jahangir, right? He goes himself and he goes and sits inside this jail in Gwalior. I actually went to go see the castle, not the castle, the fort this last summer. And it's like this huge fort and he's in prison, he goes himself. And everyone's thinking, this is our sixth Guru, he's a sovereign Guru of our Panth, but he gets himself jailed. Is he not great? Essentially got bullied into, you know, getting into jail. But he knows that at whatever time that he was in, that was the right thing to do. He doesn't think that, oh, you know, these guys have power over me. But he knows he's in a situation of hardship. You know, sometimes you're getting bullied and you're like, or sometimes people are saying things to you, or sometimes you're the only Punjabi kid with a patka in your class. And sometimes you feel like, oh crap, everyone's against me. But you know in that moment, you could be like Shri Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji because you make that choice. It is your choice, all of you guys here, to be Sikh, to have this visible identity, or not to have this visible identity, to have a long gut, or to have hair on your arms. Whatever it is, it's your choice, and you get to be there, and you get to say that it's okay, it's my choice, and I get to do a lot of good things with this choice. And then Guru Sahib went on and, you know, he's the guy who came up with Meeri Piri. Imagine this guy who came up with this whole concept of why we now wear kirpans, why we believe in martial arts. He came up with this whole idea, he changed the entire Sikh Panth. This is how big of a guy this guy was. But why? It's that belief in who you are and your values and knowing everything. And that's all of you guys. That's who you are, that's what you come from. So I think one of the last things that I want to say is all of you guys might go through hardships. It might not be bullying, it might be something else. Whatever your hardship is, negative energy in your life, you should be transferring it to something good. Make it creative. You should be thinking all the time. But if you like to draw, you like to dance, you like to do whatever you like to do, transfer into there. Learn a musical instrument. Our Sikh community has string instruments that we created. Those are only our own. You know, the dil or the taus. Learn these things, do whatever. But change that negative energy into positive. Creative, become artistic. Guru Granth Sahib Ji, we don't have the Sarup here, but you know, you guys all must have taken probably before you came here. Guru Granth Sahib Ji, if you didn't know, is 1430 angs of straight poetry. What's poetry? It's art, right? So our gurus came together and wrote art. They wrote poetry. They were artists. They did that. They saw whatever they saw in their life, the hardships, the good, the bad, and they wrote it down. They did something with it. Instead of just being like, oh, you know what? I have this negative energy in my life, I'm going to keep thinking about it, but I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm going to complain to my mom, I'm going to bother my mom about it, but there's nothing I'm going to do about it. Take that energy, make it creative, because creativity, artistic ability is in your roots. We savor that. We are artists. We're reading poetry, so you guys can do the same thing. So I think it's important that you guys all remember that negative times in your life are just at one point, and if you know who you are, you know how to tackle every situation, you know how to answer every question, and you're learning how to. I'm not asking a 6-year-old for you to know everything about who you are, but I'm asking you that as you go on, you continue that. You continuing knowing who you are, because if you know who you are, nobody can come and say anything to you at all. And I want to end off by, I think my 20 minutes are probably way up. I'm going to end off by saying that there's a lot of resources in our community for the adults. I'm going to mention 2 resources. the Sikh Family Helpline. It just came out, the World Sikh Organization just came out. I'm not endorsing any of these organizations, I'm not saying they're great, but I'm saying this is a helpline, so it's for the kids as well, so it's like a number, 1-800-551-9128, that's a number, you can Google it. But it's a number where you guys can call, adults can call, anybody can call and talk about their problems. It's non-emergent, it helps with mental health issues, whatever issues you might have in life, it's a resource for our community. And then there's a PCHS, which is the Punjabi Community Health Center, which they do a lot of work. And whatever it is, just know you have resources, you have gurdwaras everywhere. ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ। ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਰੇਕ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਨੂੰ, ਹਰੇਕ ਇੰਸਟੀਟਿਊਟ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਸਪੇਸ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਥਾਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਵਰਤੀਏ, ਅਸਲੀਅਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਰਤੀਏ, ਸਾਡੇ ਪੰਥ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ। ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ community ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਾਰਾ help, ਸਾਰੀ resources ਹੈਗੀ ਆ। You can come talk to me, you can talk to any one of the organizers here. But all of you guys have the answers within yourself. There's nothing anybody else can do. Mom and dad can help you, anybody can help you, the police can help you. But what you can do for yourself is everything. And sometimes, yeah, you have to be looked at. Sometimes you got to be hated a little bit. Sometimes some people have to say bad things to you. But that just adds on to how strong you are. And I want you all always to remember that. Ultra Kamaaf Kani, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji